Hello and welcome to a brand new chapter in investor education, India Invest Karo, presented by UTI Mutual Fund and powered by UTI Swatantra, an investor education initiative in association with moneycontrol.com. Today we are going to share more about this initiative, why we as a platform see a continued need, and what you as an investor can learn or do with India Invest Karo. Joining me, I have Mr. Imtaiyazur Rahman, who's the Chief Executive Officer and whole-time Director of UTI AMC Management, with over 30 years of experience in management and business leadership. Also with us, we have Puneet Singhvi, CEO of Digital and President of Corporate Strategy at Network 18 Media and Investments. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. And, because there has been this continued focus on financialization of assets, Mr. Rahman, I want to begin with you because, you really have your finger on the pulse of what's happening on the ground. Can you throw some light on the changes that you as a financial services company have noticed when it comes to investment choices?
Sumera, I would say that I have witnessed 5 significant changes as a asset management company. One, the investors have started investing from the physical assets like gold and real estate to the financial assets. The very significant change. Second significant change is from the lump sum investment to SIP as a route to invest. As a result of which, during the last 2 years, we have witnessed 31% growth in SIP. Third is the physical mode of investment to digitally enabled investment. Next important change which I have seen or we are witnessing now is earlier the investors or individual never planned for their retirement. Now they are using the mutual fund as an opportunity to make their retirement plan. And the last but not the least, earlier, there used to be the huge amount of concentration in the top 30 cities. We are witnessing huge amount of participations from beyond 30 cities. The data indicates that beyond 30 cities, the AUM has grown on a CAGR of 16%. As a result of which, Sumera, the AUM has grown from 22.85 lakh crore in December 2018 to 37.56 lakh crore in March 22. The AUM of Indian mutual fund industry has contributed or is equivalent to 16% to our GDP. These are very significant changes and a very significant development in our industry. Sumera?
Mr. Rahman, I really shouldn't be the one telling you this because you'd know more, is that if you travel to any district, even the remotest corner, everybody has a phone, right? And yet the financial literacy is less than 1/3, if I'm not wrong, in India. Over the years, because you have undertaken so many investment education initiatives, what has been your experience? Your team has traveled to practically every corner of India.
Yeah. As per SEBI data, only 27% of Indians are financially literate. But we at UTI, we have been playing our role in driving the investors' education strategy. In Unit Trust of India, our route goes to Unit Trust of India, and in 1980s and 90s, we used to conduct very significant investors' education program through the print media, investors' education road shows, etc. But in 2008, we launched a very important investors' education initiative. This initiative was launched by then Honorable Finance Minister. And this we did in collaboration with MCA. During this, in order to take this initiative forward, we traveled to over 320 districts across the length and breadth of the country. We traveled more than 48,000 kilometers. We basically made tailor-made buses. We conducted the street shows, and these street shows really caught the investors or Indians' attention. This has helped us immensely to spread the knowledge of investment across the length and breadth of the country. Further, our trade buddy, AMFI, they are doing a very significant role and doing a remarkable job in educating the investors about the mutual fund. And as a result of which, as I've given the number, the AUM of mutual fund industry is growing. I believe that our initiatives and our efforts to make India as financially illiterate country will continue to be focus area. And RBI has also have five pillars strategy, 5 points program to drive the investors' educations. Sumera?
Right, and I mean, really, RBI and almost all regulators have been at the forefront of this. And, even we as a platform believe in promoting the cause of investor education. And Puneet, you'd know that at Money Control, it's not just delivering news, but setting the context and making sure that there is enough understanding of the news that we're delivering, right? So investor education in that sense has been at the core of our values as well. But what do you hope to do with this particular campaign? How are you looking to up the ante now?
Yeah, so look, at Money Control, we've always had investor at the core of anything and everything that we do. And that's very important because that gives us a clear purpose and clear focus on the way we are doing the content that we do and how we are able to expand into lateral adjacencies on content. The kind of products that we've built out on Money Control over a period of last few years, and specifically in the last couple of years, that has seen a major acceleration. And third is the kind of insights that we are able to aggregate and deliver to our investors, which helps them make better investment decisions and help them manage their portfolio and money in a lot more effective way. And that's been a core of what we do at Money Control. And a major part of it is giving information, giving enough knowledge base, aggregating a lot of experts onto the platform who are able to impart the knowledge of how the financial ecosystem is evolving. And that's worked very well in terms of the kind of audience traction that we see on our platform. Initiative like this goes even a step further in adding to the firepower that Money Control's already put together, and with industry-leading partners like UTI, initiative like this goes a long way in establishing the joint credibility of the two partners and how they are able to contribute to the whole aspect of investor education, and in our own way take that number from 1/3 to hopefully 50%, and over a period of time a much higher number.
Touche, Puneet, and that really has been our endeavor. Mr. Rahman, I mean, there have been quite a few successful campaigns in the past. I mean, SIP was one, right? Today, if you go to any corner, everybody knows what SIP is. So what is your thought behind India Invest Karo? What exactly are you looking for people to have learned at the end of this campaign?
As you know, we Indian, we were not in a position to manage our finance well. So India Invest Karo is our tagline, which we launched in 2008. And the purpose of this tagline, or the purpose of this strategy or initiative, is really to educate investors. And what is the purpose of our existence? The purpose of our existence is to channelize or to help investors to realize their financial goal. So contents which we will be developing, informations and data that will help distributors, investors to take the wise and well-informed decisions. So this is the purpose of this particular initiative. And we are highly committed to take or make India a financially literate nation.
On that note, let's take a very quick break. We'll be right back. So what will be the USP, sir, of the campaign?
The USP of the campaign is data indicates once again that we are not well informed by making a wise investment decisions. And this is basically the drive which we are using to use the digital media. And therefore, the USP of this is to enable investors on their smartphone, right content, right informations, right support, and really a very, very easy way of investing in the mutual fund industry. That is the USP of this particular initiative and strategy.
All right. Puneet, one of the concerns of late has been that, there's a lot of fake news that's going around. There are a lot of doctored posts that are available now for people to read. So does a credible publisher's role become even more pertinent now?
Oh, absolutely. And specifically in the last couple of years, there has been a series of challenges that audience have faced on the digital medium and all across on getting the right information, the correct information, and the authentic information. And that's where, given the kind of distribution patterns that are there and the access to news and information that people have, it is very, very important to gravitate towards sources which are reliable, brands that have built their trust and their credibility over years. They are not the fly-by-night operators coming onto some social media or social distribution platforms and giving out news and randomly distributing stuff which is not authenticated or truthful in that sense. So, and it becomes even more important in a situation like managing your finance. You have to have credible information, insights, and also in terms of the content and the details that you're reading about for you to be able to make financial decisions which help you and go a long way in strengthening the financial position. So what started out from health and surround issues with fake news has now translated across the board, and it's important to have credibility at the center of anything that you consume the news from or consume information from as a platform.
Okay. This time around, we have two powerhouses, right? There's, of course, UTI Mutual Fund, and there's Network 18, who are coming together to help carve out the next investor education chapter for the investor community and really propel the Swatantrata narrative to make India more financially independent. Mr. Rahman, how do you see this as a boost for increasing participation by investors, especially the retail segment?
Money Control and TV18 are very credible voices so far as the finance is concerned. UTI Mutual Fund is the oldest, the pioneer mutual fund in our country. We have a deep reach. People have trust and faith in us. We have been in our business for the last 58 years. And one of our mission is to be the most trusted brand in our country. I'm quite excited about this partnership. Two very prominent brands will bring a lot of changes the way we educate our investment community. Sumaira?
Absolutely, sir, because, there is this trend of rise in the direct investor, right? DIY investing, and even Amphi data shows that progressively there are more direct investors coming into the market. But yet, there is a large chunk of investors who are still going for regular plans, like they're going through advisors and planners, etc. You spoke about how you hope to bring in the MFDs, distributors, etc. into the campaign, but there is still a lot of loss of information, through that channel. How can that be sort of plugged? How can that loophole be plugged, that the information which is being sent out, say through Amphi or somebody like yourself, how does the correct, accurate information reach the final investor?
The SEBI has a very, very well-defined rule of how we communicate with our investors. And therefore, our disclosure norms would definitely help us to communicate with our investors and MFDs with the right informations. For example, the track record of the performance, the riskometers, and these are the very, very key important initiatives which SEBI has taken to educate and inform the investors with the right informations. Our ethos, our value system is basically says and educate us that the standard of the corporate governance must be very high. And we are following this mantra, and therefore we will continue to educate our investors.
All right. And, we, of course, at CNBC TV 18 and Money Control are committed to putting our editorial might behind this campaign as well. Puneet, you think, campaigns like this really do touch investors? And, what is the kind of, conversion that platforms like ours can provide to investment education?
Yeah, totally. Sumera, between CNBC and Money Control, these are the two biggest financial brands in the country. And if you take any slice of audience data, it's borne by that. So usually, these are the first port of call for anyone who's looking to invest, whether it's in the stock market or in the mutual fund industry or across any other asset class. So when both of these platforms come together and with a partner like UTI, what it does is we are able to not only enrich the current set of users who are on our platforms with additional, more validated and more value-added information. Over the last couple of years, what we have also seen is there is a huge influx of new investors into the markets, across stock markets, mutual fund, as Mr. Rahman pointed out, and the data bears out the truth. I think all of it is being done largely across the digital media platforms, and that's where platforms and players like CNBC and Money Control become very, very important to the kind of inputs that usually an investor needs for making decisions. And it's our endeavor to not only stop at this level. The idea is to how can we leverage the brand that we have and the reach that we have to get more and more investors into what we call the financially literate ecosystems, and a partnership like this goes a long way in bolstering those efforts.
Yeah, but this comes at a time when we have a lot of distractions also available from alternative digital assets, which, some of them are not even regulated. So therefore, Mr. Rahman, is the mutual fund industry therefore better equipped to bring about financial independence given the high level of regulation from SEBI?
I would submit that with all sincerity, that we are lucky that we work in a very well-regulated environment. The data for 100 years shows that any well-regulated asset management space will survive for long. So from the sustainability perspective, we are very fortunate that we work in a very well-regulated environment. And the purpose of our regulator is not only to regulate, but also to help us to spread our reach. And therefore, the regulation will not come in the way, but regulation will come alongside all asset management companies to take the mutual fund industry forward. And I'm quite optimistic that by 2030, as per the BCG report, the mutual fund industry will grow from this level of around 38 lakh crore approximately to 100,000 lakh crore by 2030. That will help immensely also to contribute to our GDP. And as our Prime Minister has dreamed to make UTI a $5 trillion industry in country, asset management industry will also contribute to the goal of our Prime Minister.
Absolutely. And, we, of course, also wish the industry and UTI Mutual Fund all the very best, given the kind of explosive growth that we are likely to see over the coming years. Mr. Rahman, Puneet, thank you very, very much for joining in and for talking about this new campaign, India Invest Karo. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, that's a wrap from our side on India Invest Karo, presented by UTI Mutual Fund and powered by UTI Swatantra, an investor education initiative in association with Money Control. For more updates, please follow us on the link below, moneycontrol.com, MS India Invest Karo. We have a lot of topics and themes that will simplify your investment decisions. Goodbye for now.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.